Hey guys, figured I'd have to make another video today, of course. We all knew if I posted the birth certificate and stuff, they would come back at me with nasty, defamatory comments just because that's what they do. Was there any explanation of real age in there? Of course not, because they never addressed the true facts of the problem. The other problem is Danielle could probably make the same amount of money and live the same way, and they could still all have their same freebies they get if she just acted like a 14-year-old, or at least dressed properly. That was all this is all about always. But as everybody sees, they never deal with that issue. It goes immediately to defamation of me. So let's talk about that. I have my sunglasses and hat on again for Richard, since you wanted to make a video of me yesterday. I can say as much as I want about you guys, but I mean, seriously, are you a grown man going on social media to try to make a point about the fact that you've been helping someone stay lying about their age for profit? I mean, otherwise, what were you trying to do? Did you explain how she's really 16? I didn't hear anything in that video about it. So when you grow up, you can let me know and then we can have a conversation. Until then, I have no time for you. Next, go into Chad. I won't even go into Chad's stuff. Unfortunately, we really don't believe anything he says. And I don't even want to go into saying anything about him because I don't have time for that. But I will say this. You want to bring things up about my parents? Two military veterans that served this country for years, did their service. How many times did they give your mother money? How many times did they fix her car and help her? How many times did I go and help your family out? And you want to come back and say nasty things about my family? My mom and dad were two of the greatest parents in the world. I'm sorry the fact that we traveled all around the world and they were there for me, unlike your mother. But the fact of the matter is that they've always been there for me, and they have never done anything nasty to me. To say the shit that you had said about my mom and dad, it's just disgusting and shows to your true character. Number 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. There's so many things I could go into. And like I said yesterday, I am not here for hate. We could hate on people all day long. There's enough stuff on the internet that we could call out and say, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this. I'm not here to do that because we all know all that stuff. My simple thing was that this is the age of my daughter, and why can't we all have her doing it age appropriately? And why can't I have time with my daughter? At this point, I am sure she's going to be upset because of all the stress that this will cause through other people in the family, through trying to prove this. But we will still see no evidence of a 16-year-old because she is 14. I think it's sad that people want to come after me. I think it's sad that my daughter wants to say stuff about me. But it is the way it is. When people hear the truth, people act and react. And that's how it is. I understand that, and I've been this way for a long time. I haven't got to see my daughter in a year because I told the truth. It's not going to change now, you know? But let's also get into the other thing. People love to talk about the drinking and all this kind of stuff they said. I mean, let's talk about that, right? So in my 20s, did I drink? Of course I drank. For 5 years, did your father live at my house, drinking 12 packs and causing havoc on my couch while he lived there for 5 years to avoid your house? Let's not even go into alcoholics or problems, especially from your side of the family. But marijuana? You guys want to talk about cannabis and me? So the reason I started smoking cannabis, as we all know, was I got extremely sick in high school. Went from 155 to 105 pounds. Was not able to eat. Was barely able to actually function. I was taking all kinds of medicine until I had someone come up to me and tell me I should use marijuana instead. Cannabis changed my life that day. I was almost dead. Because I started smoking marijuana, I got my size back. I got some of my weight back. Unfortunately, 10 years later, we found out that the reason was because I have a muscle and unfortunately nerve disease. This nerve disease is destroying me internally. Unbelievably, because I have not used regular medicine and has only used cannabis, my neurologist actually says I'm in the top 1% of where I should be because of that, because I stopped taking medicine, because I'd rather be in pain and force myself through it. So yes, I've used cannabis. I live in Florida, the state that has legal medical marijuana and has for years. So you're complaining to someone who's a medical patient about using cannabis, and then you're also going to complain about someone who's in their 20s drinking while the rest of the family was drinking, and your side of the family, you want to talk about drinking? So please, I don't even have to go back on that kind of stuff. And please, towards the end of when they lived at my house, it was disgusting. Jen was trying to use my daughter in pageants and all that stuff, and I had lost my mind because I was so upset and so disgusted. I could no longer protect her. In my house, it wouldn't matter. She would do whatever she wanted. She would destroy it. I had asked her to leave my house for years. I had been dating other women for years. She knew that. But she just wanted to stay in the house because it was free. And she stuck her claws in and stayed there for years. And then you want to come at me. All the free stuff, all the help that my family has done for you and your children, and Danielle, and the way you want to come at them. It's just truly sad. And then let's talk about it. So, you guys, the children, were never kicked out. We made that very clear. The kids could stay at my house at any point. We did have an issue after multiple times and you destroying my house, and you weren't even living at my house anymore, but you were coming over to do Musical.lys and use my Wi-Fi. And so I was like, this is not going to happen anymore. And I did lock the doors. Definitely. I had kicked you out a while ago. We hadn't been together for years. I mean, there was no purpose in you being there. It was a horrible situation. Anybody living with you for 10 years, Jen, would lose their mind. Simply put. And so I did what I did. And yes, at one point, the reason that actually made me lock our doors finally, and I told both children, at any point, they could come stay with us. They could hang out with me. They could be there. But Jen always said they weren't allowed. And you also, Jen signed a custody agreement for custody with my daughter to stay unsupervised with me how many times? So how bad of a person was I? Making all these kind of claims is definitely not something cool to do, especially on the internet. I mean, lying gets you nowhere, and we've proved that. I think everybody else knows what the truth is. I showed the birth certificate. If they want to come out with truth about that, I would love to see it, but we won't. All we'll hear is defamation about me and trying to be nasty. So, if I have to apologize for being a cannabis advocate because it saved my life because of my disease, which normally has almost killed people, most people are only in wheelchairs. I apologize, but I don't. Cannabis is one of the greatest medicines in the world. Will I apologize for pushing out this birth certificate? No. This is what needs to happen. People should see the truth, and she should just be able to act like a child and be a 14 and live in that. I don't care who you are. It is not right to be posted like that. It is disgusting. Even as an 18-year-old, who wants to do that? If you can make money, it drives me insane. Like I said, I could go on here and say things about people all day, but it's not necessary. People that make lies up will continue to make lies and spread lies. That's what they do. I'm just here to tell the truth because I want some kind of normalcy or safety for her. So, they can continue to make their comments. We'll just respond with the truth.